Welcome to my channel. I continue to film videos about all my finished pictures and all my coloring books in collection. And today's video will be dedicated to Morgan O'Brien, which means to Matchstick Mouse and Friends. Let's start from two autumn books, Autumn and Halloween. Honestly, for me, they are the least favorite books. First, they were first published and they are slightly more simplified. In Halloween, we also don't have my favorite creature, Worm. But nevertheless, I did several pictures here. This one I think is quite lovely. This one I do love because of my favorite Halloween color combo of yellow-green, dark red, vibrant orange. It always looks quite nice. There is also second character, this lovely bat. I think that they are cousins, Matchstick Mouse and this bat. This one I hadn't finished, but okay. I color in these books when I need to relax, when my mind is somewhere else thinking about something, and when I still want to have a total relax, total anti-stress, doing such simple, lovely, positive pictures. I really appreciate that they are so small, so you can achieve a finished project in shorter time. Without those books, I wouldn't have any finished books. Actually, I also have Fairy Tales by Selena Fennick, but I worked on it like maybe 3, maybe 4 years. This one, of course, you can finish in much shorter time. So after these books, I will move to my finished Matchstick Mouse books. Apart from fun, I also practice sometimes some color ideas for clothes of Matchstick Mouse, because I really love to put different colors of hat and scarf for each of the pictures. And also I can practice colors for grass, for leaves, for wood, bark. You can see that Halloween is my least used book. Here at least I have many finished pictures. I think that was, I think maybe the first one, because it was such a long time when I did it. Yeah, probably the first one. I got this one and Christmas book together. But before we're moving to Christmas, which of course are more actual for December, more logical, let me show you those finished books. First, I finished Springtime. I think that Springtime is one of the best. I already mentioned in some of my videos that I feel difference in paper, and it happened somewhere when Big Adventure and Winter books appeared on Amazon. For me, paper in springtime and summer is a little bit better. Difference isn't huge, but for me it's noticeable, and even in springtime I enjoyed doing this picture. Now in the latest books, well, not so much. I have problems with covering paper nicely. I had to apply bigger amount of layers. Sometimes I need to use blender or burnisher, so lesser amount of pleasure, honestly. But this one, it was fun to color, especially because he added a lot of new characters, lovely cute animals, and of course it's fun to travel together with Matchstick Mouse. Sometimes I use here alcohol markers, but not very frequently because I don't like to have these stains. But quite often I combine my Prismacolor pencils and Artix pencils. Artix are good for backgrounds. They are similar in color with Prismacolors. They can be blended together, so why not to use Artix for more simple areas, but of course animals where I need to do something similar to fur. Honestly, I don't do any complicated layering on fur, drawing each and every hair. I don't think that it's this style of these books, it requires such work. But still, for Matchstick Mouse, for other characters, I prefer to use Prismacolors. I even have a special pencil case where I have pencils which I usually use for Matchstick Mouse, so when I have like 20 minutes of time and I want to color something quick, I can grab this bag, and at least pencils for mouse and for worm I already have prepared. I don't need to search for them. It's lovely that in this book we have also pictures for St. Valentine's Day, for Easter. This is one of my favorite pictures, very lovely. But honestly, it's definitely one of the best books in the series, at least in my opinion. My second favorite is Adventure, but there I simply can't adjust to the paper. Okay, that's my springtime finished book, and after springtime I also finished summer. Again, you can see that I tested here several color combos possible for the sky, and later I used the same combos somewhere in Teresa Goodrich, more realistic landscapes. So apart from having fun, I also tried to get some useful experience from these books. You know, many people now color books like new Coco Vayo style with those simplified creatures, and they can turn them into masterpieces using alcohol and acrylic markers. Somehow I don't feel attracted to this new style of coloring books, but these pictures of Matchstick Mouse, they totally match my taste. I love them dearly. I know that not everyone shares this opinion. I have many comments that I color too much in Matchstick Mouse, but honestly, if they make me happy, and I love to switch from more complicated projects to such simplified pictures, I intend to continue coloring in my books. I won't be purchasing more, but these books I will color from time to time. And yeah, I wish that I don't have this problem with paper. If I would have the same paper in adventure, then maybe I would see it and I would do more pictures in adventure and it will be my next finished project. But now I don't think so. In adventure I color much slower and I simply again feel that I more struggle with paper rather than having fun with the picture. That's my adventure. I was very excited when I saw a flip through, very beautiful, even more detailed pictures and lovely theme, more new cute animals. But sadly, I feel that paper is more thin. You can clearly see those black lines through the paper. And again, for me, biggest problem is to cover paper without grainy texture, without having to apply too many layers. Maybe it could be better, this paper, for polychromasis or other harder oil-based pencils. But I have this defined color palette for mouse. To switch to polychromasis, well, it's not fun. And also, sorry, but to use polychromasis for such kind of pictures, well, maybe it's too much. And to color mostly with markers, that's not my preferable thing. I love to use markers for some details, mostly for the background, but the main image I prefer to do with pencils. So it's also not a solution with the paper problem. But I still have some pictures here. You can see that when I am tired of blending, I can grab marker and similar color and just cover on top. So finally I can cover that paper tooth and it looks better. That was my first page in this book where I discovered that something different with this paper, that I have totally different feeling and different experience from blending on it. But this one I definitely intend to color more because look at these lovely pictures. They are absolutely adorable. And finally we have my 3 winter theme books. Let's start from Christmas, which actually was my very first Matchstick Mouse book. In the beginning I experimented with colors for mouse and mouse eyes, so several of them look totally creepy. Now I decided about main colors, and well, sometimes I cringe when I look at these first pictures, but well, that's part of the experience. Very creepy, I know. I somehow thought that I would have bigger amount of finished pictures. This one I did with Artisan. It was okay, just, well, still I have Matchstick Mouse colors from Prisma, so I decided that it will look strange if I also use Artisan plus Prisma colors. Here I really love how I did washi tape. I need to do this one this year. Very lovely page. You can clearly see from which pictures I started. Then I dropped this idea of colorful eyes, and I think that mouse started to look much more normal. think that it's the last one. Yeah. I also have this lovely book about North Pole elves and their everyday tasks. They are even more simple comparing to previous books, but still very positive and lovely. I love this one, simply because I love penguins. You can see that even if everywhere here we have winter pictures, I at least try to experiment with green, blue, turquoise sky, sometimes with violet colors. In my opinion, in such way they look a little bit more interesting. Yeah, I think that's all for this book. And finally, this winter book, which surprisingly also has pictures suitable for autumn. So, I hadn't enough time to color it previous winter, but I colored it during autumn time. That's also one of my favorite pictures. A lovely contrast between color of the frozen landscape. I remember that I was quite proud when I did this water and reflection from the lantern. And then coat and head of the mouse. Lovely, lovely, lovely page. I still like it. This one also is quite nice. I love this vibrant cobalt color, maybe cerulean color of the sky. Still good contrast to the page. And definitely not winter, but I'm glad that Morgan O'Brien included also pictures from other seasons, so I can use this book not only in December, in January and February. This one I did this October. And this one also. Definitely very good for October pictures. Well, it's a shame, but that's all. I promise that during January and February, when I will be in need of winter pictures without Christmas trees or Santa, I definitely will use this one as one of my main books. Thank you for watching, and I hope that you share my love to Matchstick Mouse and to her friends, especially Worm.